Natalie I am from Chicago, and today we're going to talk about time management and goal setting. But first I want to thank you all for being here. You're really investing in yourselves for reaching your future goals. So I'm going to give you my personal tips and tricks on how to achieve your short-term and your long-term goals. But I first wanted to make it clear that I don't always have it all together myself. As we know, life throws you curveballs, and it seems to be a theme within my life that when it rains, it pours. So I'm getting better year after year in overcoming these setbacks and figuring out how to get back up and go through and achieve my goals. So, as mentioned, I am now a professor I just got another job. So I'm now teaching at 3 different universities. Robert Morris University, where I'm also a curriculum specialist for 15 different science courses. University of Illinois, Chicago, and Rush University. And I'm also a digital faculty consultant at McGraw-Hill Publishing. So these are my more professional jobs, but of course my best and most prized job is being mother to my 2 babies here. Hobani, who's 3.5 years old. Say hi, Hobani. Hi. And my daughter, Ani, who just turned 1 last September. So you could say I have a lot going on, but within my professional life, I'm mostly teaching undergraduate and graduate students. And I like to start off the semester by quoting the great Socrates and let them know that I cannot teach anybody anything, I can only make them think. And that's my message to you all today, is that I'm going to give you new ideas to help you think, but it's up to you to integrate them into your own personal lives. So with that, we'll start off with time management. Either run the day or the day will run you. So my first tip is to plan. We've all heard that failing to plan is planning to fail. And so one of the best ways that you could do this is to sit down with a clear head. So and the way I do this in my life is I choose a day on the weekend, like a Saturday, and we've been running around all day, getting all of our errands done, bring the kids home, give them a bath, and set them to sleep, and then I need some mommy time. And some of us will turn to a glass of wine and our favorite Bravo Real Housewives programs, which I've done in the past, but recently I've turned to meditation. And when I was first introduced to meditation, I was like, I don't have time for this, to just sit there and go, and think about, nothing. I have so much to do, so much going on in my head. But it's literally just 5 minutes out of your day. You just sit down, and I use the app Headspace, but there's also this other one called Meditation Oasis, and it just talks you through what to focus on. And at first it's really, really hard because you will find your mind drifting to other things, but you're constantly trying to refocus on whatever the meditation is, whether it's like a full body meditation or just trying to focus on your breathing. And that 5 minutes helps my brain recharge, and I'm ready to take on the next task. So when I am done meditating, I sit down, went ahead of myself, or my slides are animated correctly. So I sit down with my phone, which has my digital calendar that I put in all of my appointments and my jobs and what times I have to be where. And also I sit with my 2 whiteboards. One is for the month that you see pictured here, and then I have another one for the week for meal planning. So I set that all up, and I make sure that I am realistic about how long it's going to take to do each task. And then I add about 10 to 15 minutes, because you never know when you're going to have a syllabus deadline pop up, or a poop explosion, or a tantrum. So I need that little bit of time to make up for that. And this is how I build something called margin into my life. So I first learned about margin when at work they asked me to be a part of a book discussion, and I said yes, because I say yes to everything. I'm trying to stop that. But I started reading the book, and the first page kind of defines what margin is and what being marginless is. So I want to read you that quote from this book here. Marginless is fatigue. Margin is energy. Marginless is hurry. Margin is calm. Marginless is anxiety. Margin is security. Marginless is the diseases of the new millennium. Margin is its cure. So when I read that, kind of classify into your head, do you believe you have margin in your life? or are you marginless? Because when I read this, I was like, oh my God, I am marginless, and I'm making myself sick, running from place to place, being 5, 10, 15 minutes late, trying to pack in as much as I can into every single day. So now I'm trying to integrate this into my life to have that little bit of extra time. And yes, maybe I get one task less done in my day, but at least at the end of the day, my nerves aren't shot and I don't have anxiety building up within my body. But we also want to make sure to be persistent. If you continually do this, you make it a habit and you're more better at managing your time. So the next thing I want to mention is to prioritize and do not procrastinate. So nobody is too busy, it's just a matter of priorities. And I've noticed that over the years, I do procrastinate. I try not to be a procrastinator, but we all do it, right? There are some things that we just don't want to do, like writing thank you notes, even though I'm really thankful, but I just don't like sitting there, finding the addresses, stamping, all that, or grading my students' papers, or sleep training my babies. I put that off for a really long time. Mark Twain once said, if it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, then it's best to eat the biggest one first. And so that kind of taught me, hey, I need to make sure to take the task that's the most important and the one I want to do least and do that first thing in the morning. And by doing that, you get a lot more of your tasks completed throughout the day. So if you want to integrate something into your life, like exercising every other day or every day, whatever your goal is, then it's best to do that at Troy City Fitness at 6 a.m. So hopefully that class isn't too packed now, Andre. So third is to minimize distractions and unnecessary stress. Our brain gets so clouded from all of the distractions we have, these days. A lot of our phone distractions, like the different apps that we have, especially social media. I mean, when I'm leaving one of our universities and I step into an elevator, guess how many people are staring down at their phone, flipping through Instagram? Almost everybody, right? Every second we have, we are on our phones, checking emails, text messages, getting phone calls, or we might even be sucked into binge watching, I should say, certain TV programs like Game of Thrones or Stranger Things, or my personal favorite, Fuller House, because I'm cheesy that way. And so what we want to do is to minimize screen time and be more engaged with our lives. And this is more important than ever for our children. Just 1 hour of screen time daily showed that children and teens were less curious, or displayed less curiosity, had lower self-control, less emotional stability, and a greater inability to finish tasks. Just 1 hour out of the day. So what can we do about this? We need to practice mindfulness. And what mindfulness is an awareness of where your attention is. So in order to do this, you need to continually stay focused on your one task. And when you do this, you will actually produce neuron connections due to the neuroplasticity of our brain, and you will become better at focusing at every single task that you do. So another quote that I like to show my students at the beginning of the semester is this one by Eckhart Tolle. Most humans are never fully present in the now because unconsciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. And that's a revelation for some people, to realize that your life is only ever now. You know that you are one of these humans if you've ever been driving and can't remember the last mile that you drove, or when you're brushing your teeth and thinking about what you have to do next, or you're planning out your next day, or if you drifted away from my presentation to check your phone, or if you're sitting there thinking, how long is Andre's hair really? Fourth is to delegate tasks. So, especially as a mom, I feel like I have to do everything myself in order for it to be right. But the truth is that a lot of other people are able to help you in completing your tasks. So at work, you could give away these less important tasks to your willing coworkers and interns. But in my personal life, I've also hired some cleaning services or done meal kits, and that's helped me for those months that I've been super busy or just getting down to that exhaustion level, and it kind of spruces me back up, and then I can always cancel in order so it's not a financial strain within my year. Fifth is going to be to take care of yourself, making sure you have adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and mental health. Now, I can't claim to have these all balanced myself, especially the sleep part. I'm really working on that. I don't even think sleep is in my vocabulary anymore. But you need to make sure that you take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family. You also want to serve as a role model, and these are really important things that we need to integrate into our children's lives. And while you're doing this, you are creating an inner voice that will coach you through any goals that you have set. Which brings me to goal setting. Setting your goals is the first step in turning the invisible into visible.
Mommy, Alex, ask it. Yes, picture our name.
Yeah. My son was just saying when he took a picture, a flash came out then in this last picture. All right. So for goal setting, I'll just tell you a little bit about my past. Throughout middle school and high school, I was not what you would call a successful student. I was really struggling, and I was really shy and didn't have a lot of confidence. I even failed some science and English classes, which is really ironic because I teach graduate level science classes now, and I've co-authored 2 textbooks. But you know, in my sophomore year, I was put into a low-level chemistry class, and I was able to get an A in that class, and that just kind of blew my mind and gave me the confidence, like, hey, I can actually put forth some effort and succeed. So after that, I made up my mind and said, enough is enough, I need to figure this out. Maybe I have to study 3 hours compared to the average student that studies an hour in order to get an A. But I'm going to do it because I want to be successful for myself, not for my parents, not for other people to look at me and say, hey, I want to be her, I want to be smart. It was all for myself and what I wanted to be in the future. And so that took grit for me. What is grit? It is a special blend of passion, persistence, and perseverance. When I failed at something, I couldn't let that deter me from attaining my goal. I had to go back, figure out what my weaknesses were, what went wrong, and then figure out how to conquer it. So it was really easy for me to be enthusiastic about a goal I set, but not many people can have the endurance to stick with it through the end. And that's why a lot of people can't achieve their goals. And it takes practice in order to make this a habit. So the more that you do it, the better you will become at it. Who knows who this man is?
I know who it is.
You do? Who is it?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, right? I have to put him here because I live in Chicago now. And I know that many of you have probably heard his famous quote, but I think it's worth saying it again just because it really drives home, you know, that he's a successful basketball player, or was. But he said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. And I failed over and over and over, and that is why I succeed. Did you guys get goosebumps? I did. So what he's saying is that it doesn't matter how many times you fail. That teaches you to come back stronger and achieve your goals and be the greatest that you can be. So we wish that our goals were linear this way. You just set your goal, you work toward it, you achieve it. But the truth is, it's going to take some climbing of mountains and going through valleys in order to get there. Next, you want to make sure that when you set your goal that you're very passionate about it. That passion builds up and will create motivation for you in order to attain your goal. So you might ask yourself these questions. What do I like to think about? Where does my mind wander to? What do I really care about? How do I enjoy spending time? Yeah, it's a fish. And so if you could answer these questions and your goal is related to these questions, then that's a good goal to set. Also, you want to see if you feel comfortable telling other people what your goal is that will hold you accountable to that. And if your answer is no, then you need to rethink your goal. Because if you don't feel comfortable telling other people, then that means that you're not really serious about it and you have a less likelihood of achieving that goal. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. By doing that, you are creating a little bit of anxiety within yourself and create something that we call productive discomfort. And if you're staying in your comfort zone, then you're just going to stay at that level. But by getting into that uncomfortable position and seeking a new challenge, you are going to increase your progression so you perform at higher levels. Another thing you might want to consider is changing your mindset. When I was in high school, I had a very fixed mindset. I thought, I'm not smart. That's just what it is. I can't do it. But then later when I had a little bit of success, it kind of opened that up for me and I changed into more of a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe the brain is like a muscle. And the more that you learn and improve at a task, the more that you grow. People that have fixed mindset don't like criticism, and when they fail at something, they just give up. People with growth mindsets will understand that criticism is a good thing and will figure out how to overcome any challenges that they face, and also are more likely to try new things. So here are also 10 things that don't require any talent, because this is what I thought. I thought I wasn't smart, didn't really have any special talent. But really, this is all I had to do in order to be successful. To be on time or even early, have a great work ethic, put forth effort, have lots of energy, positive body language, passion for something, doing extra, being prepared, being coachable, and having a positive attitude. So all of us are capable of achieving great things just by doing these things. So like I said, I try to do these every single day, but there's also no way that I could accomplish my goals if it wasn't for my support team here. They are always there when I feel nervous about something, like today, coming to speak to all of you. I got a little coaching on that part. Or if I feel defeated, they build me back up. And they also help me watch my kids the way that I would do. And with all of that support, I have the confidence to move forward and commit to contact with my challenges and get through them. And of course, this man over here, where's my puppy? My husband, he's always there. We've been together since I was 17, so we've kind of grown up together, but he's always supported me and got me through anything that came my way. So recently I had the challenge of losing my baby weight and also taking my Certified Strength and Conditioning Certification exam. So with my son, it was really easy to lose the baby weight because he was a colicky baby, so I was constantly rocking him like this and bouncing up and down, even like doing squats. And I could never set him down, not even for a moment, so I got these great mom arms with lots of muscles. But then when I got pregnant with my second, my little Ani, which I don't know where she is right now, back there, she was like such a calm baby, and so I wasn't moving as much, and the baby weight just kind of stayed on. And I know some of you are looking at this and you're like, okay, this is your like 5 months after having a baby, like this is nothing. But for me, I was really uncomfortable in my body and I had no energy. So I decided to sign up at a local gym. I wish I could come here, but obviously I live in Chicago now. And I changed my diet and I made sure to work out 3 times a week. And of course I had to schedule that in because if I didn't schedule it, it wasn't gonna happen. And so the results were amazing. After 2 months, I was back down to my pre-baby weight. And I also had more energy, felt stronger, and also I got rid of my back pain that was pretty chronic. So I've continued to keep exercise and healthy diet and but of course it's a struggle because you are going to have some months where you are just a little bit more busy. And I still have some things that I'm struggling with, like I had gap separation with my daughter, and so sometimes when I eat a big meal, I feel like I look pregnant. But those are some things, some challenges that we have to overcome, and one day I will get those abs back together, hopefully. And so it's amazing when I look back at all of my accomplishments, and I just remember thinking back to when I was going to college full time and I was working 3 jobs, and I was like, I'm so tired, I can't handle one more thing. And then I got married, moved to downtown Chicago, and I was going to graduate school and also working. And I was like, and I got a new puppy that I was training. And so I was like, I can't handle anymore, this is too much. Then I graduated graduate school, started teaching, and got a house. Obviously, I was still married at this point. So taking care of my husband, my household, and also had my baby boy. And I was like, I'm so tired, I can't handle any more than this. And then fast forward to now. Yeah, I have you and Nani, it's a lot. And then fast forward to now, and I have 5 different jobs. I'm working on some publications. I'm secretary of our academic council, running our household, taking care of my husband and my 2 kids under 4. And I really feel like I can't handle anymore now. But the take-home message here is that don't put a limit to what you can accomplish, because you can always take on more. But you need to make sure what you're doing brings you joy, energy, and isn't crushing you. That's it.